as we all wake up to see the treason that is Parliament. Theresa May, of course, because of what she's done, will now make it obvious, even to those still asleep, that it is absolute and utter betrayal and treason going off in Parliament and by the royals. I'll get back to that later because it's in almost every paper, but as you can see here, backfire after we exposed AA and RAC failings. Readers tell how they've ditched breakdown cover after being stranded for up to 12 hours. Loophole means drivers cannot complain to Watchdog about breakdown cover. Readers have contacted us with their vehicle recovery horror stories. RAC left one woman waiting by the side of a motorway for more than 12 hours. So Vince Cable said there must be a proper system so people can complain. Britain's biggest breakdown companies face a backlash from furious customers who have been left stranded by the side of the road for up to 12 hours. Some motorists feel so let down they have ditched their cover after decades of membership. Others have given up on paying for breakdown cover altogether. Millions of drivers pay recovery firms so that a mechanic or tow truck will be sent to rescue them promptly in an emergency. But earlier this month, Money Mail revealed how the AA and RAC are routinely leaving customers waiting next to busy main roads for hours on end. Now I know some of you say, well, I broke down and they were out, and yeah, they will get to some. But this is another rip-off, because if you have more than 1 or 2 breakdowns a year, your premiums go through the roof. So it's just like any other insurance scam. You should all sack it and just pay for a recovery truck, because it'll work out maybe a little bit more expensive, but at least you'll get picked up. AA, RAC, Automobile Association, or of course, as it is now, the American Automobile Association, and the Royal, well, it says Royal, so straight away, shit. Exclusive. Esther McVey resigns as she tells Theresa May Brexit deal does not honour at the referendum. Esther McVey has sensationally resigned over Theresa May's Brexit deal, telling the Prime Minister it does not honour the result of the referendum and fails to secure the right outcome for the future of our country. So even some of these parasitical shitheads can see it's total and utter treason. Vigilante group of almost 400 people joined forces to tackle crime in their area after a spate of violent attacks left them with no trust in the police. The police are a waste of time, but if you're going to be evicted, they'll send 50, no problem. If you haven't paid your gas rates, they'll send 20, no problem. Trying to stop violent crime, reporting a burglary, reporting car theft, not interested. We only work for corporations because we're a corporation ourselves, and we work to protect corporations, not for the public. We stand determined is attempting to stop a wave of crime in Birmingham. Let me think now. Birmingham, that's one of the most heavily Muslim places in the country, along with London, isn't it? I wonder if there's a connection there. The group originally asked for more police officers but failed to get them. Men and women are patrolling the streets after violent robberies and attacks. And it goes on and on and on, and it's the same thing that's going to come to every city by design, because that's part of the New World Order agenda being pushed out by our own government as well as every EU piece of shit there is. As we'll see. EU chief Donald Tusk hints at fears May could be ousted as he says leaders will sign off Brexit deal at November 25th if nothing extraordinary happens. Donald Tusk lines up EU summit to seal deal if nothing extraordinary happens. Oh, what's extraordinary that they've got planned to happen? Because they're warning us in advance. Cabinet traitors approved the PM's Brexit deal after a marathon 5-hour meeting. PM said deal is in the national interest and ensures UK can take back control. What a lying bitch! Theresa May now faces a political battle to get it through a hostile parliament. I'm not going to read the rest, it's just the same shit that we all know about. George Soros letter reveals globalist plan to destroy the first world with global migrant invasion. Finally, someone else can see what I can see. It's an invasion backed by Soros. As the left continues to lose the battle for America's soul, its greatest champions are going full out in an attempt to turn the tide away any way they can, even if it means destroying the country. One of the vilest among them is billionaire George Soros, a Hungarian-born US citizen who now seeks to demolish the country that have given him his riches along with its allies. The sooner that piece of shit is taken to Gitmo, the better, if that'll ever happen. Brexit leadership wants to attack the poorest to reduce immigration, an open letter to leavers. Polling shows us most of you voted to leave the EU for two main reasons. First, you want to regain sovereignty for Britain, and second, most of you wanted to see a reduction in the number of people from other countries coming in the UK. The sad truth is, however, that your leaders, who are now in control of Brexit, have no intention of reducing immigration after UK leaves the EU. And she's come out and said that. They've all come out and said that. In fact, we're going to welcome more, because they're working with Soros, the Zionist pieces of shit, to destroy this country and the whole of Europe. This needs action now. If this deal collapses, Britain must ignore the scaremongers and choose no deal. As a former Chancellor, I am no stranger to Treasury forecasts. My most famous or infamous prediction came in the autumn of '91 with the economy in the grip of a recession. Ooh, what a shock. Despite the metaphysical frost on the ground, I detected the green shoots of recovery. Of course you did. It's Norman Lamont, I think it is. 3-year-old boy remembers past life, locates his body and identifies his murderer. Now, you'll know on the Kakamak show we often talk about the fact that you don't die. Or your body does, but you, the being that inhabits the body, doesn't. You get to come back to this planet if you haven't learned your lesson. And here is evidence of that. Did you know that American astrologist Carl Sagan said that there are 3 claims in the parapsychology field, which in my opinion deserves serious study. One of them, as Sagan pointed out, was that young children sometimes report details of a previous life, which upon checking turn out to be accurate and which they could not have known about in any other way than reincarnation. He said this because multiple scientists have examined reincarnation with some startling results, perhaps the most well-known being Jim Tucker from the University of Virginia. In 2008, he published a review of cases that were suggestive of reincarnation in the journal Explorer. According to him, the subjects usually stop making their past life statements by the age of 6 to 7. It'll be 7 because I won't go into that. And most seem to lose the purported memories. This is the age when children start school. See, it's brainwashed out of them, and begin having more experiences in their current life, as well as when they tend to lose their early childhood memories. And it goes on. I'm not going to read the rest, it's quite long, but reincarnation is real. We all reincarnate unless you choose to go home. And if you want to go home rather than reincarnate, when you see the bright light, turn around, look behind you, and you will see the whole universe. And then simply say, I want to go home, and you will be returned to whence for you came from. Putin's comments about Satanism and paedophilia within politics are turning out to be true. Well, there's a shock. The facts. A few years ago, Vladimir Putin mentioned Satanism and paedophilia within politics, and he's been the first to do so. He expressed how they are attempting to normalise these practices within society and make it global. Well, I think we can all see that. Reflect on who are we electing? Who are the people that have amassed so much power that they practically control all resources on planet Earth? We do what we do. We continue to elect. Why? Actually, I think it should be, why do we continue to elect corrupt politicians who don't have the will of humanity at heart? What's going on inside? Some are being brainwashed so much that they can't see it. Nothing could be worse than the Brexit deal struck by Mrs May, the most duplicitous prime monster in my lifetime. But then again, this is Nigel Farage, so that don't mean a lot, does it? But yeah, it's treason, absolute treason, sedition. Now we get on to yesterday I put a video out about Nottingham criminal cartel knocking all the houses down, then selling off the land to private developers, which is treason as well, by the way, because they don't own the land. They hold it in trust for us, the public. So by selling it, they've breached the trust and they are now guilty. Over 31,000 London residents losing homes as council estates to be demolished. This is ethnic cleansing. There is major concern among social housing tenants as 118 sites are facing regeneration or are already in the process of redevelopment. The stark figures were revealed in a Freedom of Information request as the UK stock of social housing plummets to its lowest level since records began. By design, they want you on the streets or in private housing. A former head of civil service warned that the housing crisis is making Britain ripe for exploitation by extremist politicians. Well, that's going on. Over 31,000 residents are affected by the changes, reports the BBC Inside Out programme. Well, you can't believe anything you read on the BBC, but this one's probably correct. One of the sites set to see the biggest loss of homes is the Highgate Estate in Southwark, amid concerns that in similar projects in the capital, social housing stocks dropped massively. This is exactly what's happening. All councils are working together to do this, to destroy the social housing. Go and check the video yesterday, because I've done the clip. I've mixed it in with clips of a video I did 3 years ago when the houses were still there. You can see what they looked like, and there were still hundreds, over 400 on the streets then, and there's like hundreds of houses been demolished for the criminal cartel to sell off the land to private developers to turn into private housing, because their plan is to ethnically, socially cleanse the meadows in this particular area, but everywhere. If we don't act, you will be next. It's all right thinking, oh, I've got one of these houses, I'm okay. If you saw a few days ago where they said they want to take back private housing as well, they want to have total control. A total dictatorship is being reeled out in your face. If you don't do anything, it's going to affect you, whether you believe that or not. If you don't, well, you're living in La La Land. And finally, the paedophile, Ian Nord, Cheshire PC, convicted of raping 13-year-old girl. That's what the evil piece of shit looks like. And I hope his picture gets sent to every prison, so wherever he goes, he gets the just desert that he deserves. A policeman described as a committed paedophile has been convicted of raping 13-year-old girl. PC Ian Nord, 30. See, it's the police. You can't trust the police. Joined Cheshire Constabulary to gain the keys to a sweet shop through access to potential victims, Liverpool Crown Court heard. The rape, which took place in his car, was filmed on his mobile phone. Footage of the attack was played to the jury. It has emerged Nord was already being investigated for sex offences when he became a student officer in April 2017. You see, the police welcome paedophiles. And it's only because he was stupid enough to film it that he's got done. Because the police are run by paedophile Freemasons. As I was saying earlier about the EU Chief Juncker says nations leaving UN migration pact are stupid populists. So you're stupid for wanting to keep your own traditions, keep your own countries going. You're stupid. EU Juncker, Commissioner President, said, speaking at the event to the German newspapers, blah, blah, criticised the growing number of European governments withdrawing from the Migration Pact, or as it should be termed, the Invasion Pact. They want to destroy the whole of Europe, including Britain, because every leader just about is a Zionist-controlled puppet that needs to face the most severest punishment ever meted out to any politician ever. Now let's bring back Guy Fawkes, the one man that knew what was going on and tried to stop it. And we now apparently celebrate that fact that it was stopped when it was quite clear that's exactly what needs to happen. Come back, Guy Fawkes. Your country needs you now. EE and Virgin Media fined for overcharging customers. Both companies have been fined a total of 13.3 million, with Virgin Media calling the decision unjustified and disappropriate. So, Richard Branson, the multi-billionaire, is robbing us. I'm going for that, even though I know what the real one is. EE and Virgin Media have been fined a total of 30.3 million for overcharging nearly 500,000 phone and broadband customers who wanted to leave their contracts early. The financial penalties levied at the industry's watchdog Ofcom follow an investigation into early exit charges at both companies. EE was fined 6.3 million and Virgin 7 million for breaking consumer protection rules. Well, you know what to do, don't you? Get out of EE, get out of Virgin. Both a bunch of parasitical run shit. Police Federation. No deal Brexit could lead to disruption, danger, delays and rationing. So let's get straight in there with the fear-mongering, shall we? Officers' worst case scenario feature a return of violence to Northern Ireland, panic buying and long delays at Dover. What a pile of bullshit. This fear-mongering needs to stop. I'm not going to read the rest of it because that's all that is. That's absolute and utter fear-mongering by the scum that can see the public are aware of what's going on now and they've had enough. It's time to bring back the nooses. UK's backup power subsidies are illegal, European court rules. But I thought we were leaving Europe, so that doesn't make any difference, does it? Oh, silly old me. Of course we're not leaving. Oh, whoever thought that? Surprise judgment means government must halt capacity market scheme. The UK scheme for ensuring power supplies during the winter months has been suspended after a ruling by the European Court of Justice that it constitutes illegal state aid. Never mind the fact that Europe gives state aid to farmers to plough their food back into the fields because the cucumber wasn't straight, it was slightly bent. You know, the way a cucumber naturally is. But according to the EU, oh no, it must be straight. If you notice how the bananas are becoming straight as well, that's because they're refusing to take bent bananas, you know, the way that nature designed them. It's part of the destruction of the West. CPS and police routinely failing to disclose evidence. Now, I can confirm this, as you know, if you've been following me for some years. I've had my few dealings with the CPS and the corrupt police. It's corrupt CPS as well. And yes, they not just fail to disclose, they refuse to disclose. And they won't disclose anything that helps your case. No, they definitely don't put that in there. But hey-ho. Let's just get on with it, eh? You know, we know we're run by a corrupt political bunch of parasitical scum that swear allegiance to a parasitical queen. Prosecutors and police are routinely failing in their duties to disclose crucial evidence leading up to cases being pursued that should have been dropped. There you go. I said that all along. More not so good. Cash won't disappear just yet, says Bank of England. So they are planning to get rid of cash. Once cash is gone, we're screwed. Absolutely screwed. You won't. I mean, it's all on a card then. Okay, you go to pay for your shopping. The card doesn't work. Okay, I'll use a different one. That card doesn't work. You can't buy food. This is the mark of the beast coming out in your face. Cash will remain a critical part of the economy for the foreseeable future, according to a Deputy Governor of the Bank of England, which means they are planning to get rid of it, because whenever they're talking about something, their plan is to destroy it and get rid of it. Sir, so he's a paedophile, most likely. David Ramsden, who is responsible for markets and banking, said that cash was an important way to ensure the public had the freedom to choose how they make transactions. But then, of course, if we make it all digital, we can track every transaction you make anywhere. Daily Fail. William takes on the web giants over bile and hate that drive bullied children to suicide. Don't talk shit. As preening Tories sabotage undermine the PM, their party Brexit and Britain's future, the Mail asks simply, have they lost the plot? No, they can see the treason. It's you scum sheets that need replacing, well, destroying. The Guardian. Mumford and Sons take their critics. Great. Resignations. A coup and a day of hostility, but May fights on. Yes, because the treasonous bitch thinks she's going to get away with it. PM pleads with Tories to back Brexit deal as ministers quit and rebels move to force her out. She should be gone. Straight to prison. Not just resign, prison. The scum. Stubborn Brexit crisis grows. Stubborn May, I'm like boycott. Still, in Maya as 2 ministers quit. She's on a sticky wicket. If even the scum can see it, then that says all. It's M. Great. I. Plotters move in on the PM. Good. Shame it's not Guy Fawkes. 4 ministers quit, 3 are on the brink, and Gove rejects Brexit secret secretary job. Pound falls as Theresa May struggles to keep alive deal with the EU. Tory MPs push for a no confidence vote that could force her out of office in days. Prime Minister refuses to back down because she's a puppet and rules out second referendum. Her allies urge calm and warn that voters will punish Conservative Party for chaos. Because out of that chaos we can bring in our new world order. Double-breasted Tory rebel, double-breasted assassin leads the push. The people who can savage May's Brexit deal, the coup is on a distraction from the what matters most. Yeah, the treason in Parliament. The Times. Lonely May staggers on. PM savage as ministers quit over Brexit. Tory rebels call for leadership vote. Gove on brink of rejecting New Deal. Independent, anything but. And they said another referendum would be chaos. See, they're pushing for another referendum there. Express. Scylla, son listening to mum's music helped me cope with her death. Drive me to bleeding suicide, that would. Defiant May, I'll fight to the end, because that's what my puppet masters have told me to do. PM faces leadership battle as Brexit secretary and 6 others MPs quit. But she vows to see EU deal through as it's the right one for the Zionist bastards. Mirror. Nick Knowles, if ladies want a Neanderthal, I'm the man. Great. Government in crisis. Stump. Defiant May vows to carry on like her cricketing hero boycott, but 7 top Tories resign. Rebels plot the leadership coup and Brexit deal faces defeat by MPs. Let's just get rid of Parliament. That would solve all this shit out. Star. Jungle host a gibbering wreck over biting bugs. Holly wobbles. Inside some politics. 76 million up for grabs. Doomed to die. What a shit paper the Star is. Tell lie graph. We need a chess grandmaster to wrangle with Brussels, not the runner-up in the 1973 Towcasters Tiddlywinks competition. I think that means May's a shithead. Am I going to see this through? Yes, I am, because I'm a satanic Luciferian paedophile, and I see things through to the end, because I know once the public figures out what I am and what's going on in Parliament, they'll hang the lot of us, and they should. I may have paraphrased just a little there. May fights on, but Premiership on brink after devastating day of resignations over Brexit. Metro, blue on blue. May fights on despite cabinet resignations. Tory party tears itself apart over Brexit. Rees-Mogg launches his bid to remove PM. How about remove Parliament? That'll sort the whole shitbang out. Financial Times. Brexit in crisis. May defined as draft deal threatens Tory civil war. Saudi inquiry clears Crown Prince of involvement in Khashoggi. Well, what a shock there. Well, we investigated ourselves and we found out we were totally innocent. Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.